Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's already like day one or day two of the Trump presidency as far as that goes. How do I feel about it? I'm like, because I knew this was going to happen as far as that goes, because people wanted to change, and so this is the change. To have a completely incompetent person running the whole show like that, who doesn't have the right skill set to run a nation. Sure, he has the right skill set to run a business, but a nation, that's a different thing. But although it could be worse, we could have had a completely maniacal person under that facade of being all composed and all this sort of stuff, like as far as with Hillary, and that's just basically what this sort of thing is boiled down to, like the battle of lesser two evils, or there's just one picture I think somebody of one of my friends had put on Facebook, where I was taking this sort of joke about democracy is like two wolves and a lamb deciding who's for dinner. That whole Benjamin Franklin quote. This one picture showed like these bunch of lambs taking a vote, and then the two candidates were a wolf and a lion. So that's just basically what the whole presidential election is to me at this point. So as far as how I would see what is going to go on here as far as with the midterms, the midterms is basically like 22 months away as far as that goes. And then a lot could change at this point. Because these diehard red shirts, Trump supporters, may get all disappointed in him and all this sort of stuff, or the fact that maybe they'll have this huge buyer's remorse at this point, It won't really take that long. It took maybe like by the end of 2009 for all these diehard Obama supporters to be that sort of way. And although I did vote for Obama in 2008 in 2012, but I felt like that he was better than McCain and Romney as far as that goes. And the fact was, we were voting him in simply because of how bad Bush was. And so this is basically what the thing is here, that we voted in Trump because of how bad Obama was. So get the drift here. So, anyways, as far as how this sort of thing goes with the midterms, I believe that the Democrats are going to probably take the House and maybe at least take one seat in the Senate, if they play their cards correctly as far as that goes. If they show that they can do well as far as negotiating with the Republicans, or at least block some of the extremist agendas that the Republicans have in store, But although not all Republicans actually like Trump, that's another thing here, because there are some Republicans there that will that will throw Trump under the bus the first chance they get, because they really want to have Pence as president, And I think that's just something that's going to be the case here. But although it's really speculative as far as whether or not that Trump is going to get impeached or not. I mean, although they have to have such bigger causes to do such things there, and although already there are some Democratic congressmen that are already laying the groundwork on it, but I think they're just simply doing that just for political reasons rather than him actually doing anything wrong. Is how I kind of saw like the whole recall election back in 2003, when it came to Gray Davis, that I had saw that whole recall election as being kind of ridiculous at that point, and that they were just doing that just for political reasons, but as far as how I kind of had told my dad a while ago about that sort of thing, that was in the war of Iraq and all that was the reason why I was no longer conservative at that point, and although I had mentioned this early on one of my earlier vlogs, that I did vote for Bush in 2000, and I did vote for Bill Simon in 2002, who was the Republican candidate for governor that year. And although I think I was sad that he lost, a little bit, but I wasn't really that I wasn't really that type of person that would have wanted to go around and push for a recall election just because you didn't like the other candidate, And the truth was, it wasn't like Gray Davis was gonna run again as far as that goes, because he was already termed out in 2006 as far as that goes, so he couldn't really run again at that point. So I think what I'm gonna see as far as with the gubernatorial election, since Jerry Brown is termed out, so that kind of begs the question, who's going to be the Democratic candidate? And the Democratic candidate there is most certainly going to win anyways, because of how liberal California has become at this point. The only way a Republican can win, is if they're more moderate. That's how I think about it at this point. That they're only going to be able to win is if they're more moderate. Because what happened in the 94 Senate race with Feinstein and Huffington, Feinstein almost lost to Huffington because Huffington was kind of more of a moderate, so that was one of the little things here, but it begs the question here as far as that goes, that who's going to run for president to challenge Trump in 2020, assuming if Trump decides to run again in 2020, because in some ways, he may not even want to run in 2020 at that point, because he may realize that being president is too much hard work, and then the Democrats are so mean to him, and the Republicans are so mean to him, and blah 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 blah, and that sort of thing. And it's one of the things that a lot of people have pointed out in here, is that not every Republican likes Trump. You know, especially the establishment. The establishment would throw him under the bus first chance they get. The first chance he does something to upset the establishment, they could throw him under the bus just like that. You know, that's just how some people are as far as that goes. And I'm sure as far as that goes that there are plenty of people who have voted for Trump in the general election who were Bernie supporters, you know, like myself, and then there were some that who supported all the other Republican candidates when it came to that, you know, like Rand Paul or Marco Rubio or any of these other ones, you know. And it's one of the things that I have said to my dad, and I think I might have said it to Mom, and I think I have said it on YouTube there, that if Rand Paul or Rubio had got the nomination, I would have voted for them, because they were kind of more of a moderate Republican, you know. But although Trump could possibly be a moderate Republican, because after all, he was once registered as a Democrat at that point, and then it's like any Republican that was once registered as a Democrat at some point or another was kind of moderate in some ways. Just like that one news senator, John Neely Kennedy, you know. But it depends on how things are gonna go as far as this sort of thing goes, you know. So I wouldn't be like too upset over these kind of things, you know. But it's just, you know, life goes on, and it's like that one Avenue Q song, you know. Everything in life is only for now, except for death and paying taxes, you know. Yeah. And I bet they probably have like a new revision of it there. They would say like Donald Trump as far as that goes now. You know. So anyways, guess that's probably it. Until next time.